Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some jerk grilled blue snapper with some shrimp and some rice and peas. So for starters, I've never had blue snapper before. This was definitely my first time ever really paying it any mind at the fish market. I was shopping on a budget the day that I got it. I normally get red snapper, but it just was too expensive when I went to the market that day. So the blue snapper was $4.99 a pound. These 4 little steak pieces that I got came up to like 2.1 pounds, so it was like $9.80 something cents for these 4 pieces, and it's fresh. They cut it right there, they cleaned it, so it doesn't get much better than this. So I'm just putting the fish into a bowl of some water just to rinse it off a little bit. I don't want to put vinegar or lemon in it because I don't want to make it like a ceviche or anything. So now I'm just going to start working on peeling and deveining some shrimp. I also got these from the fish market, but I got them on my trip that I went to the fish market last week. I had bought a pound and I just sorted them out in individual Ziploc bags, and throughout the week I cook them in random meals. So this was the last bit of the pound that I got from last week. So I'm just peeling and deveining my shrimp. I know some people don't normally do it, but I do it. I don't want to eat anything crazy. I just want shrimp. So here I am, I'm peeling and deveining them. Now after I've peeled and deveined them, I'm just going to put away my trash, and I added them to the same bowl of water just to rinse them off a little bit. I had already cleaned these shrimp, rinsed them off last week before I froze them anyways, but I'm just going to go ahead and rinse them again. And FYI, I already had rinsed this red pepper in some vinegar and some baking soda, so it's clean. And I'm just going to go ahead and slice it a little bit, and I'm going to put this with the fish on the grill. So I am recording this content with my Meta glasses that I recently treated myself to. I love them. They're Meta Ray-Ban glasses. So basically they look just like your regular Ray-Bans, but they have a camera in them and they can do everything that Meta AI Alexa can do. So, you know, you can say, hey Meta, what time is it? What's the weather? It's so interactive. You can be looking at something and you say, hey Meta, what am I looking at? And she'll respond and she'll say, you were looking at a living room with hardwood floors and a little bit of furniture and a rug and yada yada. And I'm saying that because that's what she said when I asked her what I was looking at in my living room. So I really like them so far. They take really good photos, they take videos. You could take phone calls on them. You could listen to music. They're really cool. I love little gadgets. This is my second pair of Meta glasses that I have. I do have the Meta Oculus Facebook glasses. I got those from my parents a couple of years ago as a Christmas gift, and I use them from time to time to play video games. And so now I have these Meta glasses, and I'm pleased with them as well. So I might make some content on me playing around with them. I did record an unboxing. I just need to compile it all together and give you guys some great quality video of me experimenting my first go around with the Meta glasses. But anywho, just in case you were wondering how I'm getting this footage when I'm slicing up onions and peppers, it's because I got my Meta glasses on. So yeah, I'm just slicing a white onion. I did like a half of a white onion. I had a red pepper, and then I'm also slicing and dicing up 1 garlic clove for this grilled dinner. I'm gonna go ahead and grease my pan a little bit. And now when I'm grilling, I like to grill in aluminum pans because I could just pick up and go. I don't have to sit there and scrub the grill. There's, no foil getting stuck to the grill or anything. I just pick up and go. So I love using these disposable pans. It's easier for me and it holds in all the juice and all the flavor and all of that good stuff. So I'm just go ahead and I'm greasing both pans. One pan is going to be for the fish and the other is going to be for the shrimp. So for my seasoning mix, I'm just using Old Bay, and then I'm using a Caribbean jerk seasoning, a dry mix that I got from Whole Foods. I just want to keep it simple. I don't want to overdo it. If you know, Old Bay already has a host of seasonings in there, and so does the dry Caribbean jerk mix. So those two shall suffice. I don't want to overdo it. I still want to enjoy the natural taste of the fish. And so I'm just going to season both sides with the Old Bay, the jerk seasoning, and then I'm going to place the onions and the peppers in it. And then lastly, I'm going to just go ahead and put the garlic on top, the fresh garlic that I chopped up, and I'm going to put in some lemon as well. I had sliced a half a lemon. I'm going to squeeze it over the fish, and then I'm going to let the remnants of it just bake in the pan as well. So here I'm just greasing my pan for the shrimp that I'm gonna grill, and I'm gonna keep it simple with the shrimp. I'm going in with the same seasonings, the Old Bay, and then the Caribbean jerk seasoning, and then I'll put some butter in there, and that's it. So after I'm finished with that, I'm gonna go ahead and put foil on top of all of these pans, and I'm using the Reynolds pre-cut foil. I actually really like it because I don't have to like cut myself trying to cut a piece of foil, or it's like falling off the roll. These are super easy. Since I started using them, I don't really see myself going back to the roll of aluminum foil. But anywho, gonna go ahead and wrap these up. I'm gonna put them in the fridge, and I'm gonna start working on my box of rice that I've got back there. So I'm gonna just go ahead and add some water to the pan. Initially, when I had like thought of this meal for Sunday dinner, I was like, I want yellow rice. But then when I went to the store, I got distracted. I went to like a Mexican meat market, and they had every type of Goya box rice you can imagine. Like some I had never seen and heard of. Like I grew up on, okay, you know, the yellow rice, the peas and rice. They had the pigeon peas. They had a jambalaya mix, but then they had some like coconut rice and like they had a paella mix and like all of these things. And I was like, I'd never seen any of them, so I got overwhelmed. Somehow I ended up grabbing red beans and rice or whatever, peas and rice, depending on where you're from. It's all the same stuff. But my intentions was to get yellow rice with this fish, and I got distracted. But here we are. I'm just gonna add this to some boiling water. The instructions said you can either add like some butter or olive oil. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of olive oil for now, and then once the rice is done, I'll add some butter. So here I am on my roof. We do have like a shared amenities space. They have an electric grill. I would say the people that live in our building, they're pretty much respectable, and you know, for the shared spaces, like for Easter, somebody had an Easter bash up here and they were on the grill and they were like, come on, like you can use the other half of the grill. So everyone is really respectful. This day, last Sunday, oh my gosh, it was so windy, so breezy. I literally had my North Face on. Like I don't have it on right now, but eventually I had to go get my North Face, and the wind was treacherous. But in my brain, I'm like, oh, it's into April, I want to cook out. But no, it was crazy windy. I had the food on the grill on about 400 degrees for about an hour and 20-30 minutes, and that's when I decided to take it off. I just put my rice back on the stove to reheat it up a little bit. I put a little bit of butter on top, and the meal is done. So all in all, this meal took about right at 2 hours, I'd say. So now I'm just plating my dish. I've got my rice on the plate. I'm gonna go ahead and put the blue snapper on the plate, and I've got my shrimp. Everything came out really well. Smells amazing. Yeah, so here is one of the blue steaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the onions and peppers on top of it and drip some of that oil, that juicy goodness on top of it. And honestly, I know some people say shrimp overcooks and everything. I don't know if it was because the shrimp was on the top rack or because it was, you know, it was tied up in foil really tight, but like my shrimp was not overcooked. It wasn't mushy. It still had like the regular shrimp texture and flavor that it's supposed to have, and I kept it in the grill for the entire time. So yeah, I went ahead and put some of that butter on my rice and on top of everything. It just was really good. So this is the finished product of my grilled blue snapper with jerk seasoning and shrimp and peas and rice. If you like the content, if you want to see some more, hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks.